Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alan Butler, and this fellow's name is David Morgan with the Morgan Report. David, how are things out there in California, buddy?
In Washington, and they're great.
You're in Washington State. Well,
there we go.
Okay. Well, I like Washington State. What part of Washington?
I'm on the east border. I'm in Spokane.
Okay. Good deal. And your home address? I'm just joking.
Look it up on the net. It's pretty hard to hide these days.
Yeah, it is hard to hide. So what do you think of the silver market this morning?
Well, I'm pretty pleased with the action we've seen. I mean, I'm not real happy with the fact that, we got overextended over a year ago and, we had this big sell-off, et cetera. But as far as the way the market's been trading the last few months, I'm very happy. It's pretty much what you would expect. I mean, I've been in these markets, Alan, as you know, for 4 decades. I never thought I'd get that old. But anyway, and when you get a big run-up from basically 19 to 48, and it went up in just a few months, you have to expect, I don't care if it's silver, gold, or it's kumquats, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to get some consolidation. Normally, those type of run-ups will take a year or even 2. It's been a little over a year. Gold's been roughly 1 year. I think we're done. I think we're ready to start building the base in this range and start to move up.
What's this event you've got coming up on August 13th?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Event will be held August 13th. I'm looking at silver.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
sorry.
okay.
Thank you, yes.
Well, I'm plugging it for you.
Yeah, I know, thanks. It's Sprott Money, which Eric Sprott is the largest fund manager in Canada, manages about several billion. And they have a subset called Sprott Money, and Sprott Money is physical, and they are doing interviews. In fact, the first interview was with Eric himself, and I think the second or third will be with myself, and it's basically free to the public. People are allowed to email their questions in, and we sort through them. In fact, we've already got enough for probably 2 shows, but we're not going to turn anyone off. We're going to continue to allow the emails to be sent in. We sort through them and answer them pretty much live. It's recorded, transcribed, and then it's available again for free for everyone. So thank you for that. A lot on my plate, Alan, as you know, and you hit me. I just had a senior moment.
And it's, well, we're calling it a Rick Perry moment nowadays, and it's 7:20 in the morning, so.
Exactly.
Your time.
Exactly.
And that Sprott Money is Sierra Papa Romeo Oscar Tango. Sprott Money. David, yesterday I was having a conversation with a regular contributor who is a floor trader in equities, and he was telling me how they set up bull traps and bear traps. And basically the smart guys are on the floor, and they'll actually initiate trades to either trigger shorts or trigger longs, and he believes what they're setting up right now was one massive shorting opportunity. They're trying to trigger a bunch of stops in here, and then they're going to take this market down pretty hard. And then I started telling him about the Raptors. Now, do you subscribe to that group out there called the Raptors? Do you think we have a group of people manipulating the silver market like that?
Well, first of all, let's give credit where it's due. And Ted Butler came up with the term Raptors. And I do believe that the market is manipulated, but not to the level that most people think of. The overall trend can't be. The trend is way too strong. If you can manipulate the market all the time, silver still be at $4 or $5, and it's not. It's near 30. But within that market, you can smash it down, and you can execute trades that will trigger it either way. And running the stops is something very common. In fact, I got in a debate with Jeff Christian, who is the founder of CPM Group. Smart guy. Jeff and I don't see everything eye to eye. Nonetheless, even Jeff himself says, well, running the stops is pretty common. Well, what's the difference between running the stops and causing a sell-off or manipulating the market down? It's just a semantics game in my view, but he sees it different. Nonetheless, yes, it does happen. Yes, there are a smaller group that come in and take advantage of that, because someone like me that's watching the market nearly daily can see an advantage. And that's basically how I was able to call the bottom in the mining equities, was to see that the shorts were covering. It wasn't any new buying that was coming in. It was short covering. And I saw the volume, and the volume was rather large, and I knew that these guys are smart. They get out when they can. So I saw that kind of dry up. I was pretty certain the bottom was in. So I use the same techniques in the futures markets as well, Alan.
Well, David, in the length of time we've been doing this together now, I've seen you call 2 cycle highs and a cycle low. What's your next call? I remember you were thinking back a couple months ago that we would see this kind of pressure through August, and then you thought we'd begin to rally again in silver.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you look at the Gold Miners Bullish Percent Index, it actually bottomed very, very recently at probably about 5% bullish, and it's up to about 25% now. Now, when the mining equities bottomed, and I called it, it was near the end of May, but the equities usually bottom before the metals themselves, so I'm pretty confident of that call. And then if you look at the gold miners versus the S&P, what you're going to find is we also have a bottom in there, but the last low was a little higher than the low again in the end of May. So those are two confirmations. And lastly, if you look at the U.S. dollar, which the gold and silver markets move against the dollar, but a lot of other things. They basically move against the general economic picture of the globe. But nonetheless, looks like the dollar's peaked out here as well. We got up in the 84 range, down about to the 82, not quite. So based on those three confirming charts, Alan, I'm not going to pat myself on the back yet, but I think we get through August, as I said in my report, and I know you read them, that would be enough time for me to build my confidence that what the bottom's in. And one more thing, and this is a shameless plug, but we have been telling our people to buy, and buy all the last 4 or 5 months, and we have given them equities. In fact, this last one that I know you're aware of pays a dividend in gold and silver. It's a growth company. I think if you got in now, 3-4 years from now, your dividends in real money, in physical gold and physical silver, your choice or both, you would be extremely happy. And I'm not going to give the name of it out on a free program, but nonetheless, we have come up with some pretty big winners in this down market. So we work hard, we work for you, we get paid by you. That's how we make a living. And, I put my record up, especially during this time frame, against anyone else in the industry, and I'll stand on those words.
Well, I will say this, like I said a minute ago, I have been with you now for over a year, and you have accurately called 2 cycle highs and a cycle low. So I'm right there with you. David, we're about to run out of time. How do they get in touch with you?
The best thing is go to the website, themorganreport.com. There's a free e-letter every weekend. You can subscribe to that, and there's 3 paid services over on the right-hand side with the videos explaining each one.
And there's also silver-investor.com. What's the difference in the 2 websites?
None. It's the same, exact same websites. There's 2 URLs that I own. They both go to the same place. David Morgan, ladies and gentlemen, he is my expert on silver. He should be yours as well. David, it's always a pleasure. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Alan, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.